Hi, I'm Sibila and I'm a student at the IMC Krems. Today I have a very special assignment. I'm going to do an interview with my former program director, Professor Claudia Bauer-Kurzbacher, and I'm really excited to see her again, so let's go and do it.
Hi! Hi, Sibila! It's so great to see you again. How are you doing?
Hi.
Oh, you can call me Claudia now. You are one of our alumni of the bachelor program, and you can call me Claudia. So I want to show you our second historic building, and it's a perfect combination of modern infrastructure and historic elements. You want to see it?
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's go.
So, and why are we going to this other building?
I want to take you there because, first of all, they have really good coffee. They serve excellent food, and it's a historic place, so there's a wonderful atmosphere there. And yeah, I can answer all your questions there.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I know you already, but our viewers don't, so could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, so I'm the program director of the Tourism and Leisure Management program. I'm from the western part of Austria. I'm from the Tyrol. I'm grown up there. My parents used to have a hotel, so I'm basically grown up in the hospitality industry. And then my parents decided to send me to the hotel management school in Innsbruck, and I really enjoyed myself there. And so from an early stage on, I realized that I have really a great passion for tourism. So during my hotel management education, I already had the opportunity to go to France. So I did an internship there in Paris in a travel agency, and that really inspired me. So I thought, okay, I want more of this. And after my graduation, I decided to improve my French. So I went to Geneva. Geneva is the French-speaking part of Switzerland.
Yeah.
I again worked there in a hotel, and so when I came back then to Austria, I wanted to go to South Africa at the time, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So I needed a plan B, and my plan B was then to go to Italy, because I also like Italian very much.
It's a great country.
Yeah, wonderful. And so I was there as an au pair, and after that I also wanted to work there, so I worked at the Lake Garda, that's in the northern part of Italy, and I worked in a fine dine restaurant there over the summer. So when I came back then again home, I thought, okay, now maybe it's time to study. And I decided to study business, again with a focus on tourism. And I studied at the University of Innsbruck. And after my studies, I had the chance, because I worked as a project assistant there at the university. So after my studies, I decided to go to Ireland, because working as a project assistant, that really brought me in touch with research. So I realized that research is extremely interesting, and I started to pick up the topic of cultural tourism and developed a really great interest into that area. So I went to Ireland. I got a scholarship for a PhD. So I spent 4 years doing my PhD in Dublin, actually at the Dublin Institute of Technology. And I worked also in the tourism industry at the weekend, so I was always very busy. And and then I thought it's time to come back to Austria. So I actually started to work here at the IMC, first as a professor, and then now it's already 3 years I got the offer to do or to work as a program director?
Well, I think this has been one of the longest introductions. You have a lot of experience and you travel so much.
Yeah, I love it. And I really like to travel around the world to meet different cultures.
That's what tourism is all about at the end of the day.
This is what tourism is about. And this is why you need languages. And I think you just need to be an open-minded person. Yeah. And it is so enriching. And when you travel, you learn so much about yourself, I think. Yeah. It's very important also for your own identity, I guess. Yeah.
Great. Well, we arrived.
Now we are almost there. Now look at this. Isn't that great?
Beautiful.
Look at this combination. Modern architecture and historic building. And the Gotzoburg here actually is one of the oldest buildings in Krems. Mm-hmm. So this makes it also very important for cultural tourism, of course.
Let's go see inside.
Yeah, it's a bit cold.
Yeah. Let's hurry. So now I would like to start with the questions, like focusing more on the study program. And my first question is, what makes the tourism bachelor so special?
We need to go back to the start of it. More than 25 years ago, we established this English-speaking program. It was the first in English in Austria, by the way. And since then, we were able to build up an international network. So we collaborate with so many institutions around the world. And so we have really great competences when it comes to, cooperations, international, building up this international network. And we have lecturers from all over the world. And I wonder, why have you decided to study tourism in Krems?
Well, when I first started browsing, first of all, it was the reputation. This bachelor has a great reputation. I've read stories from a lot of students which are very successful, and some are even teachers now at IMC, which I think it was very cool. Mm-hmm. And then personally, also the international part of the bachelor, I got to learn Chinese and Italian, and I got to be with people from all over the world, and that was for me very important. Mm. And it was a great part that made the experience a lot better.
Yeah. I think what really separates us also from other study programs in tourism is that we have an excellent curriculum. We do not only look at tourism in Austria, but we take this international perspective. So we want to see what's going on around the world. You mentioned the languages, and this is also, in my opinion, extremely important for anyone who studies tourism. And again, this is what we offer and what is outstanding in our program. So you can choose from 5 different languages. So by the way, which language did you choose?
I chose Chinese and Italian, yeah.
Okay.
Chinese was a brave decision, but I made it through. So yeah, it wasn't a bad decision. It was great that I got the chance to learn that language.
Yeah, great. So international focus, you mentioned that this is really something very important nowadays. So we really want that students work all around the world. We prepare them for an international career.
Yeah.
And now, have a look at this. Isn't that great here?
It's so beautiful. So Claudia, could you tell me a little bit more about the focus areas of the bachelor program?
Yes, certainly. Well, it all starts in the first year with some basics in business. So for example, we look at accounting, principles of management, marketing, but I also have to highlight we have this strong focus on tourism, of course, yeah. In semester 2, we already look at event management, for example. So we go more and more into specialized areas within the tourism industry. So in semester 3, then we also highlight, for example, tour operators. In semester 4, in the full-time program, students would go on their internship. So They can go anywhere around the world, but we can talk about this then in more detail. And then in semester 5 and 6, as I said, it comes more into, let's say, more specialized areas. So we would look at sports tourism, we would look at cultural tourism, we would look at wellness tourism. So the more you move up the semesters, the more we go into these specialized areas. And what I also have to highlight is in the second semester, we lay the foundations for hospitality management and also destination management. And then in semester 5, you can specialize in one of these. So depending on your preferences, you can either specialize in destination consulting or hospitality consulting. And we talked about the languages earlier, so this is also a very important part of the curriculum of the study program, that you choose the language out of the 5 that we offer. And so when students then go on their internship, on their so-called practical training semester, they tend to go in a country or to choose a country or destination that is in line with their language skills so that they can deepen their knowledge in this respect. I think it's also important to mention that we run the Tourism and Leisure Management program as a full-time study program, but also part-time. So let me explain the differences. In the full-time program, we would have classes from Monday to Friday, and some of the courses would happen also online, still online. And in the part-time study program, your classes would start Friday afternoon and then Saturday all day long. So it's in a more condensed version that you would study. The difference is also that in the full-time program, you would have one dedicated semester for your internship. And when you go for the part-time version, then you would study and work as you go along. So you don't have this internship semester as such. But the courses are exactly the same.
Well, now I would like to go back a little bit about the focus areas. What about sustainability and digitalization? How do we apply those in the study program?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. Yeah, it's very important to mention this because what we learn from the development also in the industry, so sustainability and digitalization, these are the two trends at the moment. These are priority areas we have to focus on. And so sustainability, we start to address many issues around sustainability already in the first semester. So we have a special course on this. It's called Sustainability and Ethics in Leadership. So we would also go a little bit into leadership. And then I also have to say that sustainability is so important that we also, of course, take this on board in other courses. So for example, in cultural tourism, we cannot talk about culture and cultural highlights, cultural attractions, attraction management without addressing sustainability issues. The same is true for event management. So this is something that forms really an integral part of the entire study program. And of course, we have also in one of the higher semesters, then we have a course dedicated to sustainability in tourism. And apart from sustainability, we also look very much on developments with regards to digitalization. So we have a course on digital marketing, and the content would go into how to create a website. So what is important, how to create the website, but also what are key performance indicators for a good website. So how can you administrate all of this? And then we also have a course on digital media. So that would go into how to use social media, for example, for marketing certain tourism products. So the two of them are really important. Okay, so that's really the framework of the study program. But I'm going to ask you, how did you experience that?
Well, for me, it was a very good experience because I had a very small group. We were only 60 people. So it was very easy to follow the lectures even more, to talk to the teachers, and then also to get to know your classmates, you know, because if you have 200 people, then you're not able to get to know everybody. And we form a lot of friendships that I still till this day have. And also the group works also help a lot with the dynamics of how to work with other people. So it was a very, very good experience overall.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to hear that, actually. So this is really one of our aims, that we also train you in communication skills, and that we have a lecture on group dynamics so that people learn how to work in a small group, but also how to work in an international group. And so I think, as we move along, this is something that you can really profit from, and that is of great personal value in the end, isn't it?
I mean, at the end of the day, we are talking to other people every day, and I think it's really important to know how to present yourself and how to talk to people. So for me, at least, personality training was very useful.
Yeah.
Also because they help us also with job interviews, just class presentations. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I also want to highlight is that we have really great lecturers for this. So most of them are practitioners, so they work in the industry themselves, so they work in the specialized areas on a daily basis. So, and that's why they are also able to pass on this information to our students. So for example, event management. So we have people who have their own event management agency. So that's where they then can really report about their everyday business. So did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was very helpful because then you can ask about real life situations and really exact questions because they work there, so they're gonna know how to answer. So for me, that was very important to be able to ask questions about the job that I'm actually going to have to do at some point. You know, I also wanted to ask: are the teachers then also international, or are they all Austrian, or?
Well, some of them are Austrian, of course, but we have the strong focus on internationality, and so we have the opportunity to really collaborate with people from all over the world. For example, we have an excellent lecturer from Canada. It's Per Christian Fritz. He is CEO of a West Inn hotel, and so he's a native speaker, but English native speaker, of course. And I think it's not only English speaking, the English speaking community that really sets us apart maybe from other study programs. It's this multicultural let's say, group that we have, not only when it comes to lectures, but also, of course, when it comes to students. But from the lecture side, I can only say we have people really from all over the world. So I mentioned Per Christian from Canada, but we have, for example, Jose Garcia from Mexico. Denise is from California. We have Giancarlo Fedeli. He will join the team now very soon. He's from Italy. So we are a bunch of really international people working together, or coming together here in Krems.
It's very interesting because business also works different in every country, so it's very useful to have an input from other regions, I guess.
Absolutely. So that's the internationality, and this is really in our DNA.
So now I would like to move forward into a little more the farther semesters, and I wanted to ask you about the practical training. How does the process work? Is there help from university? Some locations?
Absolutely. So, of course, as I mentioned before, students, they have already sort of an idea of where they want to go. So what kinds of destinations they want to go to. And so, but they do get the support from the career service. So we have a career service that we offer, and they help you in writing CVs, letters of motivation. And since we have been working with so many institutions and companies all over the world, basically, where students go on a yearly basis. So we send students there every year. And so we collaborate with these people. And if we know that someone really wants to go to Ireland, we would immediately know, okay, we have 3 companies there, and why don't you ask there? So, of course, we have this great network, and that is extremely supportive for our students.
Are there any other international opportunities in the program?
Yes, definitely. So you can go on exchange in the 3rd semester. When you study full-time in the part-time study program, you can also do this in the 4th semester. So going on exchange means that you study an entire semester at one of our partner universities. And we have this great international network. We collaborate with, for example, let's start in Asia. We have Hong Kong Polytech in Hong Kong. Then we work with Mahidol University in Bangkok. If you go to Europe, well, we have several partners, but I just mentioned the highlights maybe. We collaborate with the university in Perugia, in Florence. Then a lot of students like to go to Spain, of course, so we have great partners there at the Canary Islands, for example, but also University of Malaga. We have an excellent partner in France. It's the Catch Business School. It's one of the best business schools in France, so really top-notch. And if we cross the Atlantic, then I should mention Prince Edward Islands, the so-called Holland College, great partner, Florida State University, and South America, we also have some partners there. For example, University in Mexico and the University of Ignacio de Loyola in Lima. So we have great opportunities really all around the world. And I should also mention, or I should highlight, that we offer double degree programs. The double degree means that you study an entire year at this partner university. So we offer these double degrees with 2 different universities. It's Hagia Helia in Helsinki in Finland and with the Catch Business School in France. They have a campus in Bordeaux, but also they're going to open a new one in Marseille. The double degree is really something unique. It's really for our high potentials, let's put it this way. And because you really study an entire year abroad, and in the end, you get this double degree, which is a great benefit for your career, of course, yeah.
So what can your students expect after graduation?
Well, the majority of our students or of our graduates, they go on with a master's degree. So they had, for example, for marketing masters here at the IMC. We also have some students who decide to go for a gap year, and they work in many, many different fields within the tourism area. So from hospitality to destination management, tourism marketing, of course, is also very popular. And some of them really start their own business. So we just had last week guest lectures from graduates, and they started their own business within the area of tourism marketing. So this is when they come back and talk about their own experiences then as practitioners.
So is it possible for me to end up in a leading position?
Absolutely, Sibylla. So we have many graduates who work for many prestigious companies around the world. I can maybe mention Florian Wille. He is now the CEO of the Kempinski in Vienna.
So you're an expert in the tourism field, and I'm a tourism graduate, so I would like to know, how do things look for me for the future?
Well, tourism in general has a bright future, of course, and definitely traveling will not stop. So traveling has become such an integral part of our life. People appreciate it and people are longing for this. So, and I think there will be also more jobs available more than ever. And I think if you are open-minded, if you like working with people, if you like an international environment, then you should sign in for the tourism program, and I'm sure that you're going to have the time of your life.
So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the interview. It
My
was
pleasure.
great, very interesting. So can we go drink that coffee now before we have to go outside?
Absolutely, let's go.
Thank you.